What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the next chapter of the Gas Gauge podcast. I am your host, the Professor Gas, and I have missed you all so much. Today's guest is a content creator, a music reactor, and now a podcaster. Ladies and gentlemen, this is DrifterVoyages, and this is the Gas Gauge podcast. Boom! 3, 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, Drifter Voyages. Welcome,
Hi.
buddy. How you been?
Hi. I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm so happy that you are back.
Dude, I'm happy that I'm back. I
That's all
mean,
I'm going to say, man. It's been a while.
it's for sure, for sure. It took, driving a $5,000 PC rig across the East Coast or whatever, but hey, we're here.
I don't even trust when I bought my PC. I didn't even trust them sending it to me, let alone driving it, from across the country. That's insane.
So, fun fact, I put it in the travel case that I bought for it, and then I put two pillows underneath it and behind it, and then buckled it with the seatbelt.
So my
Because
question is, did you bring your monitor with you as well?
yes, I brought so basically the whole kit that I got, the travel kit that I got, came with like a bag for my tower, my PC, and then I also got two bags for my monitors that wrap around the monitors and it gives them a handle and everything. And yeah,
Nice.
I just stuffed my car and drove across the East Coast all the way. I will say that um, actually, I went up through the middle into the east, but man, New York, I love the state. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
They have some of the worst roads I've ever driven on, and I could feel every bump, mainly because,
And you're just like,
I knew that my baby was in the back, and I'm just like, "Oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god." Like, then there was
man,
one, it was just like, and I'm just like, "Why is this a thing?" Like, while I'm driving. It was ridiculous. But, thankfully, the PC survived, and, she's built Ford tough, yeah, I got her set up, and now I ain't got no excuse.
dude, it kind of
I gotta,
reminds
I
me.
got.
It reminds me when me and my wife first had our first kid, and I'm
Uh-huh.
pretty sure. So the road I drove home on, I take daily, but it's 45 miles an hour, and I'm pretty sure I
Uh-huh.
was doing like 23, just like
Oh, coming home from the
yeah, because
hospital
I'm
or
just.
whatever.
She's like, "Are you gonna do speed?" I'm like, "We're good, we're good, we're good." Like,
Yeah.
no, he's fragile, dude.
Yeah, dude, I don't wanna be knocking his brain around before he even makes it home, right? Yeah, man, it was nuts, dude, and then also, the anxiety of having basically, like, my lifeblood, like,
Mm-hmm.
be in my vehicle that could be stolen, God forbid, or something like that. But thankfully, by the grace of God, it survived. We made it,
Right.
and I remember whenever I got here, the first thing I did, I remember I'd let you know that I had made it, and then I was like, I'm gonna go to bed, and then I laid down, and I was like, no, I got to make sure my PC works, and so I like stayed up and set everything up, and it
Yeah.
fired right up, and so yeah, and it's been running smooth ever since. Uh, I will say my wire management isn't the best,
Who's
but
this? No, I'm just kidding.
right,
There's a lot of people out there have some sick setups.
yeah, for
Um,
sure.
yeah, dude, I remember when you were first going home, man, I was trying to be like your little weatherman.
Oh yeah,
You taught me how to kind of read the map, like to the point where you're like, all right, dude, this is the map. This is where the storms are going. You know what I
yeah,
mean? And then from there, I was just kind of addicted. Uh,
yeah. For those listening, literally trying to dodge this terrible storm,
yeah,
and thankfully gas literally just sat on the phone with me and was like, all right, looks like it's coming this way, you could go to this town. Oh, you want me to like book the room for the hotel for
yeah.
you? I could call them ahead of time. And I made it all the way to Tennessee. This was coming back from Vermont to go to Texas. I made it all the way to Tennessee, some small town in Tennessee, and was able to duck into a hotel. And like it was like right outside Nashville, and like three tornadoes like all dropped within like a 5 mile radius of where
Yeah.
I was.
Yeah, I was about
Like,
to
it
say
was
I don't know how
insane.
good of a weatherman I was. I put you in a pretty spotty,
You led me right to where all the shit was going down, dude.
I'm sorry.
No, no, it was perfect, dude. Like, because I think I had stopped at what, three different places, and I was like, oh, let's try to go a little further.
Yeah.
That I brought it on myself because I was like, ah, no, we could go a little further. What do you
Yeah,
think? And you were like, I mean, you could try, like, don't die.
it's
Oh man,
that storm was crazy though. I think that was
yeah.
like, that went all the way from Texas all the way up to Michigan and just kept pushing. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah, it
thing was
was nuts,
huge.
dude. And right, I think right now, as per this recording, I know the United States kind of getting bombarded right now. Texas is
Yeah.
like got it bad right now, and we had some weather up here in Vermont, and it's the first time that I ever heard thunder in the mountains, and it's very eerie. You could definitely make some monster sounds, like getting some, like audio from like a
Yeah.
thunderstorm out here. It's pretty nuts. It's pretty nuts.
It sounds like you're kinda getting that northern, accent a little bit. You say Vermont.
Oh, did I really?
Yeah.
Oh no.
You
Dude, it's funny, man. Up here, they like I say y'all and they think that is the weirdest, funniest thing.
yeah,
And it's
the
funny because there are like quote unquote, for lack of a better term, backwater towns out here. And they have their own kind of form of country accent. And they say y'all. And I'm like, "Well, it's not that weird, Like,
yeah.
I don't know.
I know
But
you're
yeah.
very polite though. You're, "Yes, sir. No, sir. No, ma'am.
Oh,
Yes,
and
ma'am."
they
And
do not know
they
how to react
yeah,
to that.
they don't that's definitely a southern thing. I mean, not saying that people in the North are not respectful and do that, but it's very rare in my opinion.
Uh-huh.
For everybody I talk to at my job, I've or not job, but in my day to day, I don't
Mhm.
hear sir, ma'am. That doesn't exist.
That's It's so weird to me. I don't know.
Yeah,
And my my family, my mom, she raised me to, be a very yes sir, yes no sir, yes ma'am, no ma'am kind of person. So like there's that too. Like I also know like there are people in Texas that, you know, would never call anybody sir or ma'am.
right.
And then that's just the thing. I think it's also like the upbringing, not just the state that you're in, that that matters. But I have no another thing, holding doors open, that's
Yeah.
like weird apparently, because like every time I hold a door open, I either get the oh my gosh, like so surprised thank
Yeah.
you, or I get this look like, well, why are you,
Yeah, are
like
you
I can
going?
hold my own, yeah, what are you doing, dude, like.
Yeah, me and my wife have this thing where we're like I always try to hold the door for like whether wherever we go, restaurant, store, whatever. And
uh
not that she's not capable, I just like to do it. You know what I mean?
yeah, it's a
And
gentleman thing to do.
she'll like go to reach for the door. I'm like, I'm coming. I'm coming. Give me a minute.
I'll never forget this one time me and my wife, we went on like a date or something, and I parked the car and got out, and she started to open the door, and I like ran around the car to like open the door for her. And when I did that, like we got out of the car, we started to walk away, and this car had been driving by, and this lady like leaned out the window and she's like, "You're such a fucking gentleman. Oh my God." And then they like sped off, and I was just like, I don't know, like, it's like I appreciate who, my wife, and I want her to feel
Yeah,
appreciated. And it's just a small gesture that, you can do to make someone feel important. And so,
absolutely.
yeah. Yeah,
All right.
man.
So, Drifter, I'm gonna kind of dissect you here.
Oh boy.
Everybody knows you, right?
Split me
Or I
open,
guess not
daddy.
everybody. Anybody that's a previous listener knows you.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Drifter Voyages, formerly known as a content creator, streaming anything from FPS to simulators to I don't know, what is it? RPGs. I'm sure you've played some of those.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I
Uh,
loves my story games.
so I guess my question is, now that you're not doing that anymore, like what and you just we'll get into it here in a little bit. Like you just recently started a little bit of a project. But before that, what were you really doing? Like, what were you doing with your
So
time?
yeah, before that, I got into well, I dove heavy into editing, and I ended up working for an amazing content creator who is also a reaction content creator for metal music. His name's Rogan Josh. He's our buddy. He's awesome. He's been on this podcast before, and I really dove into that uh, mainly because I had kind of done like funny clips and montages for like Call of Duty and Fortnite. We dove into the Fortnite thing pretty heavy
Mhm.
and stuff like that. And I just really I found out that what I enjoyed most about that was the editing aspect. So I one day Rogan Josh hit me up and he was like, "Hey, like I really like your editing skills when it comes to the game stuff. Like, could you do with this?" And he offered me a job, like basically editing his reacts, mainly doing like vertical content for him and things like that. And during that, whenever I was working for him, we kind of like got to talking like about like just YouTube and diving into those things. And he was like, "You should do music reacts, to like it's a pretty, for lack of better terms, easier way to get traction and things like that, and you get to discover new music and all that." And I had already been thinking about it because I really enjoyed on the editing side of on excuse me, on the editing side of things working with him. I was discovering new music and I thought that that was sick, and I was like, dude, like this could be something that I could do for myself as well and discover new music. And so he kind of pointed me in the right direction of where to go, and I started doing that, and it became a thing where eventually I was having bands, instead of me just finding like bands that were releasing music and reacting to their stuff. I was having bands actually contact me and like offer to pay me to do reactions, which was pretty cool. And then yeah, so I started doing that. I ended up hitting YouTube Partner. I had a uh, reel on Instagram pop off, and now I'm up to like 16K followers on Instagram. It was actually the Falling in Reverse song with um, Alex Terrible and Tech Nine. That thing popped off. It got like 4.2 million views, which is like mind blowing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's actually a really good song, though. I like that one a lot.
Yeah, I still get follows and I still get likes from that. It's insane.
That's
Like
awesome.
that was like a long time ago. But yeah, I had that lucky break. A lot of with content creating to get out there, a lot of it is usually it's not just the skill and the effort. It's
Right.
also the lucky break. It's learning how algorithms work. It's learning how trends work and continuously trying and failing to do something and get it out there at the right time for it to pop off. And I just got lucky. I kind of got to a point in that journey, in that chapter of content creation, where I was I I I did it for fun, and then I started doing it in a business aspect, and then I found the balance to be able to enjoy it in the business and also have the business aspect too. And that was whenever I popped off. And that's something that you're not going to find until you have gone through all the motions of it, I believe. Like you kind of have to, you're always going to start something because you enjoy it. And then it's going to eventually kind of feel like a job. And then that's where there's that point in that journey where you either decide to enjoy it and allow it to be a job and let those things live in the same space, or you get burnt out, or you just hate it and keep doing it because it makes it pays the bills or whatever. And
Right.
I was lucky enough to have that forethought and allow myself to enjoy it again, and it showed. Like the main one of the main keys for content to work and feel authentic is for it to be authentic and be something that you actually enjoy, and that's what it was. And then after that, I got a job offer that I couldn't refuse. I'm now a travel nurse for TLC Nursing, and I want to specify I'm not like an RN or anything like that. I'm a mental health technician, and it pays really good. Me and my wife are working hard to get out of debt, like, everybody's got debt, but we're working hard to get ours taken care of and just get us like kind of back on our feet. And this job is allowing us to do that. And because of that, because of the unknown, I've never, when I did my first contract and I came to Vermont, that was the furthest away I've ever been from home for the
Right.
longest time period being away from home. And it's the furthest north in America that I'd ever been. So it
Yeah.
was terrifying. And I also flew the first time too. Um, but so like I had to put everything on hold, like my bands, my content creating, I had to put everything on hold. And the second time around, like I was able to save up money to be able to get my own vehicle, things like that. And I drove up and I experienced that. And I was able to be like, okay, like next time around, like I'll be comfortable enough to, you know, take my rig if I need to. And originally I was trying to get a MacBook, but those things cost literally an arm and a leg. So, uh,
Mhm.
like literally a MacBook that with the power to be able to run things to do editing and recording and all that costs more than my PC rig. And my PC rig is close to 5 grand. Like it's insane. So yeah, I brought my PC this time around, and it's great. And it also opened up an opportunity while I was home to do the thing that I'm doing now, which is May 1st, I released the first episode of my creepy podcast. It's just me telling creepy folklore stories of each state in the United States. The first episode was Vermont, just because of my environment. It made sense to do so. And it was inspired by my travels, like being a travel nurse and driving through each of these states. It's interesting. I love folklore. I love creepy things. And so I was actually, if I stopped in a state, I would be on my phone Googling, like, what are the ghost stories of this town? And why not make this into content that can be consumed? I wish I would have had a podcast to listen to while I was driving, home or to back up here to Vermont to be able to be like, oh man, I'm driving through Oklahoma. What's Oklahoma's folklore about? And find like, a podcast that had a dedicated episode to stories from Oklahoma.
Right.
And that's where I'm at now. Like I've got 3 episodes done and ready to release. Like I said, the first episode came out May 1st, on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. And I have the other two ready. And um, now I just got to start cracking down on the other ones. I've got up to 5 episodes written. So I have two more that haven't been recorded yet that I could do, and then
Right.
continue writing episodes. And yeah, and do it. I mean, that's 50 episodes, right?
Now
There's 50 states,
now I do
right?
want
Or is it?
I do want to add real quick, for those that are just not knowing what that is, I was one of those people. I was really, I don't want to say confused when you, because he gave me the first listen. I'm not gonna lie. I heard it before it dropped. Only the first one, and
For sure.
that was the rule. I didn't want to hear any other ones because I like the work that you do. But I was very, I don't know what the word I'm looking for. I was like, I didn't know what you were throwing at me because I've never got into that before.
Uh-huh.
But if it was coming from you, I knew it was gonna be good.
Oh, I
Everybody,
appreciate that.
please give it a listen. You're gonna like it. Um, I don't recommend listening to it at 5 o'clock in the morning on the way to work though, because you you hit this tone in your voice, and I'm just like, oh,
You're like ready to fall asleep, dude.
yeah, dude. It's definitely an awesome jam though. My Discord community kind of got a first hand at it with you promoting it in there, and they loved it. And thank you for
Yeah,
that.
man.
And I'm glad that we could be a part of that. And I think I speak on behalf of everybody. We're very excited to get the rest of them. You know what I mean?
Dude, thank you, man. I appreciate that. And I appreciate your community. I mean, I am honored to be a part of it. And we're all buddies in there, and I
Yeah.
greatly appreciate them for sure. Like your community came in clutch with like helping the release of this pop off. I haven't shared this yet, but I'll share it here. I'm already past like 50 listens after like a day. Like, and I was not expecting that.
Yeah.
Like, I was expecting like 10. and it's just like, and I'm not oblivious to how, I preached to you about it before, man. Things take time. You can't, you got to let it brew. You got to let it grow. You can't expect it to grow overnight. That's just not, it's not feasible, and for it to pop off like that, I was like, whoa, like I was super baffled, and it was just a win for me today, like especially after suffering from the stuff that I suffered from, and then being afraid to go to the doctor. I guess we should touch on that. So last Saturday, this is recorded on Friday, May 2nd. I woke up in the middle of the night and couldn't hear anything. My hearing was almost completely gone. For those of you who don't know, I was born um, partially deaf in my right ear, about 60% deaf. And so I've always suffered from hearing problems, but my good ear wasn't working. And so, and my bad ear has gotten worse over time, uh, from age, from being in a metal band, from listening to loud music. I jam Creed every day. So like, what do you expect, dude? My ears are bleeding.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, it was, uh, it was terrifying. I've been told my whole life that, when I get into my late 40s, I'd probably need hearing aids. And to wake up when and not be able to hear anything. I mean, I couldn't hear the world. I woke up to go to the bathroom and I realized I couldn't hear because I couldn't hear myself pee. Like
That's
it
actually
was
pretty
crazy.
sketchy.
Yeah, dude. I was like, I didn't even realize it at first because you're like
Yeah.
groggy, and then I was like, wait, what? And I'm like hitting the water, at different angles, and I'm like, I can't hear anything. I flushed the toilet, nothing, and I instantly panicked. I called my wife crying, like I was freaking out, and yeah, and total, almost complete total deafness. I could only hear and partially make out what people were saying if they were like screaming at me. I couldn't, talk on the phone. Poor Gas was going crazy because he couldn't call me and chat. We'd
Yeah,
always have
dude.
our long chats and stuff. And like it was a lot. And it was one of those things where I was so upset at myself. I did do a woe is me moment where I was like, of course, I'm starting something that I'm really passionate and excited about. And the one thing I need is my ability to hear. And I lost it. And I was like, great, cool. Like I got 3 episodes done and that's it. Like, and now I'm done. And thankfully, I went to the doctor today, what is it? May 2nd. Yeah. Day after my podcast released, and I had shared on socials about it, about my struggle that I was going through, and thankfully they were able to fix me up, and I can hear great now. What it was, and this is the content
Yeah.
warning. Sorry, it's because it's kind of gross, but uh, my I get this from my dad's side of the family. We produce a lot of earwax at a rapid rate, and technically it's as human beings we're not supposed to clean our ears. Like the whole Q-tip thing is actually really bad for you. um and your ears are just not they just we just naturally let that earwax out. And sadly, because I produce earwax at such a rapid rate, uh, my body doesn't have enough time and it builds up. And yeah, it built up to a point where it completely blocked my both of my ears. My bad ear actually was worse than my good ear with the blockage. I mean, it was a painful thing, and it wasn't supposed to be. That's how bad it was. I had earwax built all the way up to my eardrums, and it was completely blocking the sound, like complete deafening situation, like a wall was built up in my ears.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But
Thankfully,
thankfully, that's all it
yeah.
was, like
Yeah.
I was worried that it could be there's like a situation where people that have birth defects in their ears, they get growths that grow into their brain,
Ooh.
which that is like a thing. I know people that have experienced that, and I would have had to have like surgery and all that kind of stuff. Like there was a lot of things that could have been wrong, and thankfully it was just that. And
Yeah.
after a little bit of a tiny painful, procedure of them cleaning it out, it was pretty painful. It's not supposed to be, but it was for me. Um, I can hear now, and now I can get back to work, and that's what I'm excited for. I'm excited to get back to creating my podcast. I'm already ahead, which is, I'm thankful for. But, I'm also excited about, and that is getting back to my reactions. I've, you were one of the big ones to push me to do that. You're like, dude, like,
Yeah.
come on.
Dude, so I knew this podcast that you're doing that is on a totally different level than your music reacts. Music comes to you naturally with you being in a band and all that. So with this
Yeah.
podcast, I feel like you really had to reach out and do your homework, and it shows in the post that you put out yesterday. Like where it's showing you work. That's insane. Like I got chills right now just thinking about it. You know what I mean? Like I
Oh,
seen
dude.
that and I'm like, no way, dude. Like, did he did that? So professional, bro. And then
Dude.
you're like, dude, your camera could do it too. And I'm like, I don't care about me, dude. You did that. That's so sick. So sick,
I
bro.
appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, dude, it's one thing that I had my podcast back in the day with, my bandmates or whatever. And so I have a little, like everything that I do now, I've had little toe dips into it. And I think that that helps me go into it fully, like, confident, if that makes sense. I
Yeah.
don't know.
No, yeah.
And like with my band's podcast, we had the Dead Reflections podcast. The episodes are still out if anybody wants to listen to them, but I mean, we don't do it anymore. But like, what was cool about it was that was completely blind. That was before I knew how to edit, like all that kind of stuff. I mean, I guess I had a little bit of editing skills, but like it was um it was cool to experience like the growth of that. I
Yeah.
made some friends in the podcast world, and that was pretty neat. Just people like us that were just trying to, grow. And I learned a lot about like the importance of social media when it comes to that. Like music reacts. What's cool about it is I do the music react. I have to the legal side of things with like copyrights and things like that. I learned things from that aspect, and then with the podcast stuff, it's a lot more like with the let me revert back with the music reacts. After I'm done making the video and I upload it and I upload the shorts, I kind of have like a short that I can use to promote it, like, and that's great. Like that short will reach people, and it holds retention, and things like that. With podcasts, you have to work a little harder because, like, especially for mine, I don't show my face, and I do that on purpose. I didn't want to have to worry about these extra things, worry about like the camera and cuts and everything else when it comes to that. Like whenever you're recording just your voice, it allows you to make the delivery be what you want it to be, and you don't have to like be like, oh, like you're gonna be watching these videos and see this person that didn't memorize their lines perfectly, and then all of a sudden there's a weird cut, and it can throw off the vibe. And so like having the talking head format, it allows me to put more time, energy, and effort into the storytelling, into the research, into all of that, and focus more on the delivery of the story in audio form than it does video form. And like that way I get what I want out of music reacts when it comes to editing the videos and having more like emphasis on, like where I had like getting to do all the fun stuff, like adding like keying and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then on the audio side, like I've already learned so much when it comes to podcasting and how much audio matters and how much leveling matters, and doing all the when it comes to rendering, I've learned so much about that I can now implement on my videos for music reacts. Whenever I was that little clip that I showed you where I was playing around with the stuff, dude, I
Yeah.
implemented the audio that I learned for podcasting for my voice into that, and it made it sound so much better. I was like, holy shit. I've been trying not to cuss this whole time. I'm so sorry.
No, dude, you're
Um,
good. You're good.
okay. And yeah, dude, and it's crazy to think that s- doing different projects like that and working on them simultaneously, you're like it allows you to kind of grow a little faster as long as you have the ability to do so. You know what I mean?
So
And
I
so like it brings back the stuff that I love, where I love the editing. I love learning. When
yeah.
it comes to this kind of stuff, I love so much being like, I don't know how to do that. I want to learn how to do that.
Yeah, dude,
And
you're
then,
you're literally an encyclopedia when it comes to that shit, dude. And like I could tell back in the day, bro, when I'd be like dude, it's you would go through it so quick, and at one point we were kinda neck and neck with the same style of, like, doing gaming shorts to where,
Yeah,
like, I could ask you and you were doing it, but then it got to a point where, like, you kinda took a path and you taught me, you're like, "Bro, like, YouTube has everything you're looking for." Like
yeah,
like, it was awesome learning from you, but you're like, I'm gonna show you the same way, and then I think eventually you just kinda, like you just learned like, what everything does in there, right? Like, it's not really you
yeah.
looking it up anymore, you just know how to edit now, correct?
Yeah, it's more like yeah, it's more like if I don't if I can't figure it out, I can watch a video on YouTube for all of like 2 seconds and be like, "Oh, it's over here. Oh, okay."
Right.
And then I just kind of go and do my thing and figure it out like by actually doing it myself. Like a lot of it is more just knowing where things are and getting a remembrance of that. And then also like dude, I love playing with plugins and things like that.
Yeah,
Shout out to Mr. Alex Tech who has like some of the best plugins for DaVinci
for
Resolve.
sure.
And I yeah, and like and I don't know, man, it's just fun. Like when you're passionate about something, you even the grit and like people that work out at the gym can agree with this where it's like they are passionate about getting fit and
Right.
being healthy, so like the hard stuff, like lifting the weights, trying to get to another weight, dieting, things like that, they enjoy that. Is it miserable sometimes? Hell yeah. But at
Yeah,
the same time, this is awesome. Like they can look and be like, dude, like I'm gonna be so cut in the next week, or whatever their terminology is. I mean, I work out a little bit, but not enough to like know the lingo.
right.
But like that's kind of like how it is with this stuff. I'm I guess in a way working out the knowledge in my brain to like know how to do it. I want to be able to eventually be at a point where I know that program so well that like I can literally do it as like a freaking full-time job. I would I would totally be content with being an editor and that be my job. Like not even if it consumed me to the point where I didn't even do my own content anymore. I would literally be content with doing that. Mainly because I know for a fact that this program, like DaVinci Resolve and editing in itself, is going to always continuously grow. So that means that I will always continuously
Yeah.
have stuff to learn and have stuff to like figure out. And it's so awesome whenever like whenever you figure something out and then you get to watch it like literally happen. You're like, I did that. Like that's so cool.
Yeah,
The only
a lot of times it's just getting that ball rolling, and,
yeah.
one thing I got a new buddy in the, film industry, I told you about him,
Oh yeah.
Sean.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
Me and him both kind of agree with this, and I think and I don't mean to hurt anybody's feelings or anything when I say that, like, anybody that's listening, but in the content world all around, whether it be streaming, making videos, what would you talk heads or what would you call it? The
Yeah,
pod
it's called talking head or talk
yeah,
head. Like, yeah.
even that, if you don't have that imagination you had when you were younger, I feel like you're really gonna struggle. You know what I mean? You have to be able to put yourself in that position when you get that content block or like a writer's block, you have to be able to be like, "No, we're doing this because that didn't work. We're doing this." Or, "How can I make this funnier?" Oh, dude, bam, there it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, when at the like I guess a baseline thing that you can say is like, dude, we're telling a story.
Yeah,
Regardless of what the content may be, you're a part of the visualization, or if you're just working on like audio, you're a part of like telling that story in the audio in, like emphasis, like turning up volumes, dropping volume, like all that kind of stuff matters. And like same thing with video, having things come up on the screen, retention time, um, having things that are relevant show whenever people are talking, like things like that, that's all a part of building the story that is that video. And
exactly.
if you don't have any imagination, it's going to be really hard for you to listen to or watch this video and be like, I have no idea what to put here. Like, like
Yeah, yeah.
gas said there was a lampshade that had nipples on it, like, and like
What did he
for
say?
us, we would be like, lampshade with nipples. Okay, like we would either create that image somewhere or look up Ed Gein and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre or something. We would think of
Yeah,
something. You know what I mean? And we would have that show to help emphasis what's being said to help tell the story. And like that's where imagination and the awe of it comes into play, man. And also the fact that you got to enjoy what you're doing. Like at
100%.
the end of the day, if you don't enjoy what you're doing, like you're not going to put in the effort that's needed, and it's going to show. And you know, like you've said before, it's like you're going to get back the effort that you put in. And
Mhm.
if you're already putting in 20% because you don't enjoy what you're doing, that's what you're going to get back, man. and
Get
and
that
that's just the
20%.
sad truth. Yeah. And you can't be mad at it at that point, you know, like.
I think that's
And
why your, podcast is doing so well, dude, because you went up and beyond, and I'm pretty sure I got a notification from just about every platform, um, that you posted. So you did that outreach, and it paid off, dude. Like, that is a killer first start, bro. 50
dude, thank you,
listens,
man.
that's
Yeah,
insane, bro.
it's crazy to
You're
me to
you're
think
on a
that that's
gold
a
mine,
thing.
for
and
sure.
and I and what's great is like, yeah, I mean, like podcasting is right there with, you know, music reactions and reaction content where it can pop off like pretty easily. Um, but like at the same time, like dude, I'm doing it because I enjoy it, man. Like at the end of the day, if just my buddies listen to it, dude, that's totally cool with me. Like I don't care.
That's how I
Like
got with
and
podcasting too, man.
yeah, dude, it's like and what's cool is I don't care, but also knowing the worth I think that it needs to be put in can live in the same room. The numbers cannot affect me, but I can also give a shit about the numbers
Yeah.
enough to know that like I need to do this to get it out. And that's what's great because at the end of the day, if I was like, you know what, dude, I'm just gonna do this and I don't like I can be happy with that.
Everybody needs to
I'm
take
just
notes,
doing it.
dude. Dude, if everybody needs to take notes, 'cause I man, you know me more than I know me when it comes to content. Like, I really have to be pushed and shoved, and, I always have to learn the hard way. I can't just go into it being like, "This is fun." No, dude,
Yeah.
like, the first time around, and everybody's listening, there's a couple reasons why I quit doing the podcasting. Like, I'm not gonna do this whole, like, "Oh my god, pity me," but same thing with streaming. I got too involved in the numbers, and
Mhm.
I'm like, "This is good." Like, I'm literally Drifter's editing it. Why is this not blah? You know what I mean? And I lost the whole, like, lore of why I was doing this. You know what I mean? Like, the
Yeah,
reason
because
why I like doing this is because I like talking to people. I like hearing their story. I enjoy hearing how you got from A to B. You know what I mean? And like, I let those stupid fucking numbers get in the way again. And then I got what we just talked about, the content block, or like writer's block, to where I just sat there and yeah, dude, every day, every day. How many times have I hit you up, like, over the last 2 months, like, "I wanna do a podcast." And then finally today, he's like, "We're fucking doing podcasting. Fucking go turn your shit on."
I was like, dude, let's do it, man. Like I can hear today's a win on
I
all aspects, and it's gonna be a win even more because we're gonna get you an episode done.
I got a
Like I
bike,
just
I got a podcast.
dude, like, let's just do it, man. And it's good for me too, man. Like literally like a week and a half because you know, like with the deafness, and then I hadn't done
Oh, dude, I can't
actually
imagine.
more than a week and a half because I hadn't done really anything except I did one recording for an episode and that was it. And I edited that down. So like basically a week and a half, nothing, dude. Not even just not doing anything, but no sound at all. Like I can't I
Did
feel
you hear
like
ringing?
no, nothing. I feel
You
like people don't understand how like
dude,
lonely
I get
and
chill ugh.
like, it was so like, it just threw me off, man, and it really messed me up, like, mentally, and I tried to hide it, and, like, like, my wife, you know, she's bless her heart, she's not dumb, and she can tell,
Yeah,
and I could tell that she could tell, and she was trying to, you know, let me have my ego in a way and not really, like, call me out on it, but also try to be there for me and be like, "Dude, like, I know you're not okay." Like,
yeah.
like and yeah, man, like so this for me, this right here is already helping me because it's making me get excited for my own stuff again because I was so, dude, like, full disclosure, man, got done with my ears and they were like, okay, like, you have to do your hearing test and stuff. And like, I held it together long enough to make it to I was like, I have to go to the restroom first. I held it long enough to make it to the restroom, and I literally bawled my fucking eyes out in that restroom.
Oh
I
man.
cried so hard, and it was like just overwhelming. Like I remember whenever like I could hear again, and she was like cleaning. So she did my good ear last, and my good ear didn't hurt as bad because it didn't have as much buildup onto the eardrum. So like, but this ear hurt real bad. But my right ear. But like when she would like whenever I started to be able to hear, like I was the rest of the time of her cleaning my ears and stuff and like fixing me up was me trying not to like literally just break down on this woman.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like
I
it
can
is like
imagine.
like
Oh
fall
man.
into her arms like thank you,
Yeah.
you know,
You
like
don't know how much this means to
yeah,
me.
like it was like and I just had and so I went and I had my moment and then I went in and it was so cool getting to do the hearing test stuff. I learned that I am more than like I could get hearing aids now. Like my hearing is still bad and I am like more than qualified and justified to get hearing aids now. I could get on disability for my hearing actually.
Wow.
Um yeah, which is crazy. I'm not going to do that. I can't. The fact that I mean I would probably be doing this and I could take advantage of that, but like nah, I would much rather work. And it's a good thing to know to like fall back on if I needed to. And also I got to experience so they have this thing and it vibrates like it touches like the back of your skull over here
Mhm.
and it shoots vibration to the inner part of your ear. And so she did that on my bad ear. And it was really cool because like I got to hear sounds that I've never heard before
Wow.
in my bad ear, which was like crazy. I was like you know, it's just tones, right? At like certain volumes and stuff like that. But to experience that tone in my ear, and I had never experienced it before,
Right.
was like it like getting goosebumps because it get you know like when somebody whispers in your ear and it gives you like it makes like
Come
you're
here,
like
I'm
"Ew," you
gonna
know
whisper in
yeah
your
it was like that but like at the same time my brain's like yo like I've never experienced it on this side before
ear.
like well, you know like
I'd be like,
oh
"Stop."
speaking of which being you know living 30 you know uh how old am I'm 34 living 34 years hearing sounds and then not hearing sounds your brain does this weird thing where it's like I know what that's supposed to what sound that's supposed to make and it's like almost like I don't know it just felt like anticipation is the best way that I could say it. My hearing was not there and my ear was ready to experience the sound that my brain is saying hey that's the sound that it's going to experience and then it wasn't experiencing it and that is a mind fuck in itself. Like it is weird, and it made me uncomfortable, and I hated it. Like it was so strange. Like I don't know how else to. It just really like messed with my head. Like the loneliness, the fear. Like that's one of my biggest fears is going deaf, and like knowing that it could like change my life as far as like the content that I do, like things like that. I mean, if I can't hear, I wouldn't have been able to do the podcast, and I never be able to
Yeah.
do my band stuff or music again. I mean, I was one of the biggest things, like my wife, my poor wife having to deal with like me crying about how like I wouldn't be able to hear my daughter's voice when she becomes a
Oh,
teenager or when
man.
she becomes an adult. Like, you know, like things like that was all going through my head. And the reason why I jumped to that was because I've been told like most of my life, like, yeah, man, it's gonna be a thing, you know? And so like I thought that you know, it's like a I thought I had more time kind of situation, you know, and thankfully it was just blockage and I got it fixed. And now I'm on like the ENT and the people over there, they were fantastic people and they were so sweet to me. And they, you know, they understood and they really walked me through things. And now I've got a thing like basically because of the wax buildup situation with my body and how it works, like I need to go to an ENT literally every 4 months to get it cleaned to
Yeah.
make sure that this never happens again and to just make sure that I'm doing okay. They also want to, I have scar tissue on my right ear and they want to monitor that, make sure it doesn't become a growth, which was one of the things I was afraid of. If
Yeah.
it becomes like a growth and that scar tissue grows, it can go into my skull and freaking kill me, like,
Yeah. We don't want
like,
that.
yeah. So like, a lot of things, but I got it all taken care of, man. Like
Yeah.
today has been such a win.
I can
And
tell, man. You're in
yeah,
such a
dude.
better mood. Like I
Yeah, dude.
obviously I couldn't hear you, but like we did text quite a bit, and I was like, I could tell. You know, what I mean, you could just
Yeah.
tell. I know it's weird to say,
Yeah,
like
man.
you could tell a mood through text, but like
Oh, dude, dude, I don't know why people say that's not a thing. You
it's
can
totally a
tell
thing.
somebody's mood through a
Yeah.
text. Yeah, like, come on. They put too many periods. They didn't put two G's or three Y's. You know.
Yeah, and
You know.
then you get some of Professor Gas texting, and you're like, I can't fucking read this. Like what?
You're not that bad at texting,
Nah.
bro.
If it's first
Maybe
thing in
when
the
you're
morning,
tired.
bro, yeah.
Yeah, you're like, oh, fucking, I don't know.
Yeah,
Like,
I texted you the other night, like at midnight. I was up all night, and
yeah.
I forgot what I sent you, but I like laughed. It made me laugh. I was like, huh, and I went to bed.
Yeah, I was
uh,
just like, dude, this guy needs to go to sleep.
let's talk um let's talk video games, man. I know on your before this, while you were in Vermont last time, you did quite a bit of gaming.
I
What
did.
were those games, man?
So I checked out the main one last contract was the new Assassin's Creed. Beautiful game. I understand where all the hate comes from, but I think it's ridiculous. Um, Let me rephrase that. Let me say that in a nicer way. I think that people take things too literally and they want to be mad. We are in a day and age where, especially in the gaming industry, sadly, like everybody wants to be upset. And I just don't understand why. You're getting upset at a game. I understand that there are some cultural things that are wrong. Um, and that, that kind of sucks. But at the same time, we're talking about a game where one of the guy, like in one of the games, you got to fight like fist fight the Pope. It's literally the lore behind Assassin's Creed is people from Saturn were Adam and Eve and they came, you know what I mean? Like it's not
Yeah.
real,
Yeah.
and like why does it have to be a thing? And I know that they had said some things and so it was like contradictory, and then also like there's like a thing with there's like these dragons and stuff, and the way the dragon is drawn is more Chinese than Japanese, and like honestly I think that a lot of it is probably just honest mistake or people not knowing, and does that necessarily make it right? They should have done their due diligence, yeah, but that doesn't mean that you should just not play the game. The game is fantastic. It's awesome. You have two characters now, and one is more stealth driven, actually, like how an Assassin's Creed game is, and another one is literally you can like break through walls and shit. And he's like a tank, and he's a badass, and like they're both badass. And what the way I look at it is what they were doing is everyone was pissed about Valhalla and how like it was like Assassin's Creed Valhalla was more on the tankier side. Like you didn't have to necessarily sneak in that game. You could literally just run through and take people out. Same thing with Odyssey. So what they did is they brought back the stealthiness of Assassin's Creed with one character. But they also, for the people who enjoy the tanky stuff, because it's fun.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I get it. It's not stealthy, whatever. It's still a fun game. Like, stop being so negative about stuff. Just play
I
what happens to just
dude,
playing video games, man. Like, I don't, I can, oof, man,
dude, so the
it really starts to piss me off.
the as long as I've been doing the streaming and content creating, I know I don't do it much anymore, but I do still watch people, and over the years, man, I've just noticed you can't make and also reading like sub forums and stuff too, and reading the comments on the videos, you
Mhm.
cannot make people happy anymore. Like
No,
you could literally polish the best game ever. Dude, Grand Theft Auto 6 for example, they literally just apologized. They said, "We are not we are dating this release back until 2026 because they're not ready." Like respect it, dude. Like, dude,
Yeah.
I love Rockstar. I love GTA Online. I love the 5M community. I love everything. I love Red Dead Redemption. It's fucking amazing. Respect their fucking shit, bro. Like, let them work. Let them cook, bro. You know what I mean? Let
Well,
them cook.
and what's funny is like, so they want to spend even more time to make the game better, right? And people are mad about it. If they would have released the game now and it wasn't more polished than like with what they're trying to do, what would be the outcome?
They would
They'd be
sit
mad
there
about it.
and bitch. Like I said, you can't make them
Yeah.
happy. But now
Damned if you do,
they're gonna
damned if you don't.
they're gonna release this May 26th, and who knows? They might put it back another 6 months because they're not ready. That'd be like you, dude. If you're making a podcast, dude, how many podcasts did you make before you released that first one? Be honest.
I re-recorded the first episode 6 times before I figured out like no, it might have been more than that. But like just trying to figure out the rhythm and everything. And what's funny is from episode 1 to episode 3, those are the 3 that I have done. You can see the growth and I've changed it even more. But it took 6 times for me to be like, okay, like I think this is just like pretty good. And then what happens? I go to the next episode, I do it like that and I'm like, "Oh, I could improve here. I could improve here." And then the next episode, man, I could improve here. I want to expand this story more. I want to do this. I want to do that. Like it's never ending growth. That's what it
Never
is.
any. And then how would you feel? Because knowing that you've had great past content. It's in the writing. We've seen it. We've seen your past content. It's beautiful, polished. The editing is amazing. And then you're
Thank
coming
you.
out with this. And let's say you kept putting out like, "Hey guys, I know you guys are expecting this podcast, but I'm just not ready yet. We're gonna pull back and release on this date." And if you kept getting that backlash, dude, that could almost ruin somebody. Like I'm not saying you're as big as Rockstar, but like that could be like, oh my god, dude, like they're talking all this shit. Like I'm not doing this. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
yeah. They just finally are
people
just like,
just
you know
need,
what? You're not getting a game. You're not
yeah,
getting anything.
people just need to
Yeah.
take a chill pill before they pull the plug on it. You know what I mean? And people like me, I've been playing Grand Theft Auto since I shouldn't have been. You know what I mean? Like Vice City, um,
Dude, GTA 3, man, get the
yeah,
Banshee,
Vice
steal it.
City, San Andreas, all
Oh man.
dude. So like that's crucial to me when I see them doing that, like bashing on them. I'm like, ah, dude, you're gonna ruin it for everybody.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. Seriously. Another one, like, and oh man, the shade on this one. During my first contract that I did, that was when I finally, broke down, decided you talked me into getting an Xbox just so that I could play with you guys.
Oh yeah.
I started doing the oh shit, what is the name of that? Dragon Age, the Veilguard, Dragon
Mm,
Age Veilguard. And that game got so much hate. It still gets hate. But I tell you what, man, I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. A lot of it was like the pronoun stuff, which, more power to people for having that. Like if they have pronouns and everything, I'm not hating on y'all or anything.
no.
But to like hate, but for like not, but for a game to like get hate because it has it when it's literally just a little box and you move along, like what the,
Yeah,
like
sorry for them to be modern,
and
should
yeah,
make
and that
everybody
and
happy.
also that and also the situation like there's like a couple of incidences where they kind of like push the agenda a little bit, and I can understand people being like, "Dude, like stop trying." But dude, every game, everything has an agenda that it's trying to push down your
Mhm.
throat. Everything, everything.
Yeah.
Like play, uh, uh. Okay, we'll bring up Assassin's Creed again. Literally, Assassin's Creed goes against Christianity, but it has a Christianity like shirt on. You know what I mean? Like it's saying like, oh, this is Christianity. Oh, by the way, it's not Christianity. It's actually like this weird like sciency shit where like these aliens came down and they're actually Adam and Eve and like you know what I mean? Like
Yeah, they're just pushing the boundaries, and they're gonna do
yeah,
that. They're gonna see what they can get away with.
like it all goes back to dude, it's a video game. It's not that serious. Relax and just play the game or don't play the
Yeah,
game.
have fun,
That's it, dude. Like, you don't have to
100%.
make these like 18 videos on YouTube about how this shit offends you. Like, I'm all about everyone has their own opinion, and that's fantastic. But like, you're you like a prime example, the Veilguard stuff. You're pushing your own agenda down people's throats, just like you feel that they did to them.
Yeah.
And I don't think people realize that. An opinion is your agenda. And when you make all these videos and just hate and all this and like have hate raids and like all these other things, you're pushing your own agenda down people's throats because you're mad that someone else pushed their agenda down your throat. That is literally insane
I feel
and
like
ridiculous.
I feel like I feel like video games are kind of like how some girls are, where they're like, "Oh, it wasn't even that good," but they're like, "Still hit though." You still played it. You still played the game. You bought it and played it. You played 60 hours, and now
Yeah,
you're
the
gonna tell
dude's
me that's
like,
not good? Like,
yeah, the dude's like, dude, man, like that P word wasn't even that great. And she's like, you still got off, dude. Like,
yeah,
you
yeah.
didn't follow me up, dude.
You still put the hours in, and now you're gonna tell me it
Yeah,
wasn't good? Like,
yeah, dude. Like, come on. And that's the crazy thing, man. These people are buying the games and playing it all the way through. I'm
yeah,
like, for you to hate it that much and you play it, you beat the game. Like, come on.
yeah.
What are you just like sitting there, like with your controller, like, oh, dude, like
This
what?
is
Like, come
this
on.
is this is so bad. I'm gonna keep playing another hour to see what
Yeah,
happens.
bro. God, come on. And
Yeah.
then, since we're still on the topic of games, for this contract, sadly, my hearing went out, but I got to play a little bit beforehand. Was the Oblivion remaster, and I honestly hope that moving forward, the remasters for any game hold the same standard that the Oblivion remaster had, because it is amazing. It is Oblivion. The story, everything about it, the bones of the game are still the game, but it is beautiful. And they also did like what they call it, quality of life changes, but they didn't overdo it. And I think that that's what makes it great. They still keep the glitches in the game because the glitches were a part of Oblivion. The memes that you see from Oblivion, they all that is still in there, and they did
Yeah.
that on purpose. That we have the technology now. That game is so old that, like, dude, they could have fixed all that shit, like, easy peasy lemon squeezy, but they did it. They left it in there because it's a part of the game, and
Yeah.
it's not a
So
laziness aspect. It's because this is meant to be like a gift of love to the community of Elder Scrolls, and I think it's fantastic, and I enjoy it. I love it, dude. I spent the fact that you can make Nigel Thornberry in the character creation is fucking
here's my thought. Pokemon,
okay.
I know it's coming. Pokemon Red, you're gonna do
Oh,
it. You're gonna do
is
it.
it?
I don't know if it's in the works. I don't know if
Oh,
that's a
okay.
real picture, but
But
it
it's being
it
talked about.
history repeats itself. Okay, it's
Yeah.
gonna happen. And if you don't keep the same shit in, I don't want anything different. Give me a different case. I'm okay with that. I'll buy it and play it. Don't fucking change it, or
Yeah.
else you will get the meanest letter ever. Signed,
Listen, Nintendo,
signed, Professor Gas, Professor Oak. I'll kick your ass.
you don't want to. Professor Gas is Professor Oak's cousin that went to jail 3 times. He will fucking kill you. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm the cool uncle that would
Yeah,
would buy you beer. No,
yeah.
I'm kidding, kidding.
But you don't fuck with because he smokes a pack a day and he's killed people. Okay.
Who's that Pokemon? It's Pikachu. No,
Fuck. Yeah.
I love those ones, man.
But yeah.
Drifter, dude, I feel like we could honestly run like a 6-hour podcast, bro.
Oh, for
Um,
sure.
but unfortunately, I know you're probably tight on time, and
I'm tired,
yeah,
Dad.
it's
I'm
it's
tired.
11 o'clock here. I'd love to have you on again, man. I feel like we had so much more to cover because like you've been MIA for so long, and I know it's not intentional. You have life to deal with, and now you're back, so we have
Yeah,
that
dude.
to look forward to. But man, there's so much stuff that happened like behind the scenes, bro. You know,
It's crazy to think that I've been doing this travel nursing stuff for 7 months.
it's insane, bro. It
It
seems
has not felt that long,
it seems like
but then
yesterday,
again, it
dude.
has felt that long.
I was so bummed out. You're like, hey man, I'm gonna be going away for a while, and I'm like, no.
Yeah, he was like, "When are we gonna play games?" And I'm like, "I don't know." And he's like, "No, like you need to tell me like a time
Yeah,
frame
I
here."
need
Like,
Yeah. When are we talking? Like,
Yeah.
are you gonna have a phone or what are we doing?
Yeah, like, "Where are you going?" Yeah,
It's
that was
honestly
crazy, man.
it's honestly like it's more like when you used to work nights at the last
The
place you worked
recovery
at.
center,
So
yeah.
like I could still
Yeah.
talk to you, but like some nights were
Yeah, I
better
just
than
hop in the
others.
Discord. I
Yeah.
just hop in the Discord while y'all are playing or whatever and just be a part of the party or whatever. Yeah, man, I don't plan to do this for forever. This definitely having my stuff makes it a little bit easier. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm still away from my family and I miss my wife and kiddo a lot. And I can't be away from them, for like long periods of time. Like 3 months is like the longest. Thankfully, like this go around, hopefully, I'll have the funds to be able to fly out like for birthdays and things like that, which
Yeah.
will allow me to at least extend this long enough to make a little bit more extra money. And then, I might move on. Like sadly with like the stuff with the government, man, they're taking away like our stipends and things like that. So pretty soon within the next year, like or two, like it won't even be profitable to do this anymore.
Yeah.
And so like basically what that means is I'm just kind of on this grind to make as much money as I can, which was what the initial thing was in the first place. Get us out of debt, get us ahead. And then I'm going to go back to, hopefully by then I can find an editing job and I can just work from home. Then, and then get to a point where my family's like, could you like take a contract and like go somewhere for a little while? Like we're
the
kind of we're
the
kind of over you being home all the time, like
they'll
things
put you in
like
your
that.
man cave.
Yeah,
Go
yeah, yeah.
work, dude.
Yeah, seriously. But
That's
yeah,
awesome.
man, like and it's not going to be for forever. My wife, she had made a comment one time because I'm a martyr, dude. Like I suffer. And like I feel like I have to. And she's like, "No." Like when I told her about taking my PC and she's like, "Dude, like that's great." Like it's like, are you sure it's okay?" I'm like, "Yeah. Like do it. If you can do it. Like
Yeah.
why sit there and be miserable the whole time?"
No,
It's
yeah.
not going to cost me any more money to have it here. If anything, once I get the reactions and stuff going out again, maybe I can start making some side cash,
Yeah.
like it's beneficial all around. But for me, because it's something I enjoy, I feel like I have to not have it because I'm away from my family, and I should just be here working and being miserable. And that doesn't have to be the case,
No. No.
and that's okay.
That was kinda the idea with getting the Xbox when I was talking to you. I was like, "Man, even if you, like" we talked, like, when you first got it, like, even if you just rent one and then return
Yeah.
it, you know what I mean? Like, you don't have to be like, it's a bad situation, but it doesn't have to be bad. It can be a good
Yeah.
bad situation to where, yes, you enjoy yourself for 1 or 2 hours and, you work 12, 13. I don't know how long you work. I know you work a lot, but
Yeah. Yeah. But no, yeah, exactly. And even down to like, dude, I'm in this beautiful state and I've barely seen it because I was so hell bent on work and doing it. But like this go around, I'm going to utilize it. Like, with the creepy podcast, for example, one of the stories, the first story on the first episode is about Emily's Bridge. Dude, that's like a rock throw away from where I am right now.
it's
So,
crazy.
so talking about content, right? I'm gonna go and I'm gonna use my phone and I'm gonna take some pictures and record some video talking about being there. That's a post that I have now. You know what I mean?
Dude, that's something I was thinking about too, because like, you're gonna grow, and
Uh-huh.
I think I know I liked it, and I'm sure other people did too, is seeing, like, you like, the side view of you editing. Maybe you could evolve that into, when people send in letters and stuff, or not letters, but, like, emails and stuff saying, like, "Oh my god, you gotta check this out." You can be like, "Oh, Stacy 39, I really like this. Bobby over, at the haunted mansion. We're gonna dive into this. Be sure to check it out. And maybe you could do like a little bit of fan mail
Oh,
or
that's
something.
cool.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude.
Because then you're
Like,
interacting, but you still have like your privacy. But they know you. They know you now from that first video. Like
yeah.
you've shown yourself, but it's not a complete reveal because like you could come in on episode 2 or 3. You know what I mean? And then at the end of it, hey, I'm gonna do fan letters or whatever. I don't know. It's just it's I don't know. You have so many possibilities with this. It's so awesome, man.
Well, our brains think a lot alike, man, because that is one of the ideas that I have is whenever I get a good enough following, I want to start doing little mini episodes that are dedicated to fan stories because like I'm not hating on anyone by any means. I don't think that I'm the best writer in the world. I've been surprised that I've written as good as I have, but like I want it to be just straight up me reading like, yeah, here's my scary story that I have, and it'd be an episode in its own, and it'd just be under the 50th room, but it'd be the 50th room. I was thinking about like doing like a post office kind of like play to it, but
Ooh,
it's
yeah.
it's still it's still in the works. But that's what it's going to be. Is it's going to be its own thing that is a part of it, so that I can keep pushing out content more and more. Like I could knock out a couple of episodes of the post office probably in one go. If it's only one or two stories, it's only going to be 6, 7, 10 minutes long. Like
Yeah.
so that and that's a thing. Like that's totally a thing. It's crazy that you bring that up because it's like, dude, that's literally we think alike a lot.
I hope
And
I hope too you do like international too, because like you just Mexico. That's all I'm gonna say. Mexico.
oh, dude, Mexico has a lot of
That's dude.
folklore
You
and
have
yeah.
cartel. You have deserts. You have
And
so
then
much.
just the culture in itself, like the Day of the Dead stuff. Like there's a lot. There's a lot. And Mexico is they are very heavy into the
Yeah,
spirit
they
world,
they don't
and
play,
so
dude.
like yeah, man. You tell them that house is haunted, they ain't they're probably not. I had a friend that literally we would go on ghost hunts. He's like, nah, I'll wait in the car, man. Like I'm not.
Ooh.
I don't play with that
Oh
shit.
yeah, because
Like
you're by Mexico.
I mean, yeah, we're close, like
You
Texas, but
you could go there. Let's say you blow up
true.
tomorrow, you could go there, and then next thing you know, you're doing like the film crew, and you're like you got the what's the thing? You're like, speak if you're here.
Right? Oh, with a EMP
Yeah, yeah,
or not, or EVP, not EMP.
yeah,
EMP is
dude.
a grenade.
Man,
That's
I
the Call of Duty days coming back. Sorry.
that's what I look like. I've been EMP'd.
Right, dude.
All right, man. Um, Yo, we're gonna let you drop some socials, and then we're gonna have you take us out of here, man.
Oh,
So
okay.
the TV is yours.
All right. Well, so if you want to follow me at Drifter Voyages, on like Instagram, that's like kind of like my main platform to push content and try and meet new people. And then also on YouTube at Drifter Voyages for my music reacts. And then the name of my podcast is the 50th Room Podcast, the 50th Room Podcast, which is basically a play on the 50 states, kind of thing, since we're telling stories from each state. And it has its own YouTube, but as far as like content outside of YouTube, it's all on my Drifter Voyages Instagram that you can find that content. I've thought about making an Instagram for it, but honestly, I don't think I'm going to. I'll just leave it all in one thing. Maybe in the future I'll change that. But if you want to listen to the 50th Room podcast, we are on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and like we had said before, talking head format on YouTube. And yeah, follow me on Instagram and stuff, please. And don't be afraid to share your scary stories. This is a good way. Like this is the first time of me talking about it out in the ether. So if you hear this and you want to submit them, please by all means send it to me. And I'll definitely start setting some stuff up. If I start getting it now, man, I'll start doing it now. I'm very like if it's there, it's there. I'll take advantage of it. But yeah, and also like I said with the music reacts, if you're a band listening, please submit, hit me up and be like, "Hey, we've got a single coming out. I would love to check it out." I'm going to start doing that stuff again. I've already got a list of people that have already hit me up and stuff, and I'm going to start knocking out reactions here pretty soon too. And yeah, that's about it. So follow me on Instagram, follow me on YouTube, subscribe on YouTube, and listen to my podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Okay,
Dude,
love you.
Drifter, it's an honor, brother.
Yeah, it's
We,
been an
dude, I
honor too, man.
like I said, I want to get you on another one, man. I know you got to bounce, but thank you so much for your time, dude. Thank you for relighting that spark. I appreciate you, and the listeners are gonna appreciate you because the ball's rolling now, man. Thank you so much.
Hell yeah, dude. All right, man. Well, you have a good one. Bye.
Peace, dude.